Did you know that 500,000 children in the United States live in the foster care system? What it means to live in the foster care system is to live with complete strangers, or if these children are lucky, completely distant relatives. Thousands of children live in instability due to living in the foster care system. Children are often placed in the foster care system due to receiving abuse or neglect in their homes, so they are placed in the foster care system to live with temporary parents or guardians until their real parent or guardian biologically is able to give them a safe home. The information I am using to deliver my speech today is gathered from personal experiences from whenever I myself lived in the foster care system and multiple articles. This essay will be discussing the issues with the foster care system and how people can help prevent those issues. One major issue with the foster care system is overcrowding. Over 23,000 people age out of the foster care system annually, leading to homelessness or other unfortunate living situations. Once a child turns 18, the government no longer has to support them through the foster care system, leaving them to be homeless or living with people in a dangerous situation. In addition to this, many children wait hours on end to be placed in a home. Whenever I was being placed in my first foster home, I waited 5 hours at the DCS office where I was allowed nothing to eat or drink and had to wait for over 5 hours in the office to be placed in a home that was still over an hour away. While my situation was not amazing, there are some children who have been stuck waiting in these offices for hours and days and weeks on end, as there are no available homes for them to go to because of the lack of foster parents in recent years. Another issue with the foster care system is inadequate funding. It's normal for a caseworker to have 18 to 21 cases per year, but recently many have 24 to 31 as the number of foster care children has increased and the number of foster parents has decreased. This makes more children need to spend time in this system than necessary, as these caseworkers have to try to struggle all of these cases while also going to court and making sure these children go to appointments and that they are in safe foster homes. The current funding structure is also very inflexible and results in low quality. The whole goal of the foster care system is for these children to be reunited with their biological or step parents. However, only 11% of the funds are used to actually try to get these children back to their parents. After hearing all these issues, people are probably wondering how they can fix these. One of these is by becoming a foster parent. With more foster parents, homes are less crowded and children have more places to stay. For example, whenever I was waiting to be placed in my foster home, me and my sister were not allowed to go to 10 different homes because they were already full, and the home that we had to stay in was already filled with 5 children, all under the age of 5 years old. To support a struggling child is to become a foster parent. Foster care gives abused children adequate health care and education, as well as a stable home and family. Whenever I lived in foster care, I was able to go to elementary school, I was supported and was able to go to doctor's appointments, I received filling meals and stuff like that I was struggling to get at my real home. And for these children, that is so important. And so for people who care about children, it's a very smart decision for them to decide to become a foster parent. In addition to this, resources need to be expanded for these children. One resource is the Isaiah 117 house, and there is actually an Isaiah 117 house location close by. The house originally started in Tennessee, but has spread throughout the United States. It is a resource center for children waiting to be placed in a foster home/group home. I recently talked to a member who works for the Isaiah 117 house and told her my story of how I had to wait in the DCS office for over 5 hours. And she told me that was the whole goal of this home, was for these children, while they wait, to have a safe place to eat and sleep and take baths. The whole entire house operation is ran completely by volunteers, however, so they constantly need volunteers and helpers to help make sure these children stay safe. It gives the children a safe place to stay with resources so they do not need to wait in the office. Another good resource is CASA, Court-Appointed Special Service Advocates. These are workers who build a long-term relationship with children in foster care to give them a sense of normalcy. These workers often stick around longer than caseworkers, as children can have multiple caseworkers throughout their time in foster care, as there is such a lack of caseworkers. We even have a CASA office in Vincennes where they have come to things such as our career fair and other things like that. They also help advocate for the children in court, as children are not normally allowed to go to court, so they often gather statements from the children to be able to go to court for them and explain their side, as if, do they want to stay with their parents, would they potentially want their foster parents to adopt them, as some people do foster to adopt. They can also give them small gift bundles when first placed in a home. There's a whole operation where they make blankets by hand with fabric, or they give stuffed dolls. I know whenever I was placed in foster care, my CASA person, she was a very lovely lady, she gave me and my younger sister blankets, and we were given these stuffed dolls that we got to take home with us, and those were some of the only few things we got to take. As many times when children are placed into foster care, they come with the clothes on their back and maybe a trash bag with one change of clothes if they are lucky. But I know many children who have been placed in the foster care system who just get the clothes on their back and they're shoved into a home. So a way that you can help is by volunteering for CASA or even working for CASA. CASA always needs volunteers. I myself have volunteered for CASA, and a friend has, and it feels rewarding to know that I can help the children in these situations. Overall, there are many issues within the foster care system, such as it being overcrowded and the inadequate funding. These issues cause these children who are already in dangerous situations to potentially be put in further dangerous situations, as if they age out or they live in an overcrowded home or other situations like that. And having to wait for hours and hours and hours on end can still cause these children to be in danger, depending on who their social worker is or whoever is sitting with them at the DCS, CPS, DCFS office. However, to help these children, people can fix these issues by choosing to become a foster parent or helping with organizations such as the Isaiah 117 House or CASA, or they can even advocate for their own resources. If they know a way to help, they can donate to a local foster family. They can become foster families. There's so many different ways to help children in foster care. While 500,000 children live in foster care, there are still ways to help them eventually be able to leave the system, as the goal of foster care is not for these children to be in the system for forever, but reunification with their biological families. Consider becoming a foster parent, caseworker, or helping volunteer for an organization which helps these children be able to go back home to live with their safe families, or while they spend their time in the foster care system, to be able to feel safe and loved.